are live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters. But boy, am I excited about what this woman especially has to say here tonight after what happened less than 48 hours ago in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Maybe the biggest crowd in WVWF history. Boy, we have a lot to cover, but really the question that's on my mind, and I know for this woman, she's going to try her best to answer it, but I have a feeling she may or may not be able to answer this question, is why, Godric, why? Because if you saw that footage, and I'm going to play that footage, and I'm going to certainly I have to, it's on your YouTube channel, but it's on your YouTube channel. And we're going to be asking, what is left of Phoebe Harper? Because after all, I mean, did we see that wasteland? I know there was supposed to be a Phoebe Harper fan club meeting tomorrow afternoon on Zoom, but apparently after what I just saw in Parkersburg, West Virginia, we may not be asking about Phoebe Harper fan club meetings, but we may be asking about the career of Phoebe Harper's and what's left. I'm going to ask this young lady her thoughts on that. I am also going to talk about a brand new King of the Mountain champion. I am also going to talk about that draw. I'm going to talk about that cease and desist. And I'm also going to talk about a guy who came in here, and boy, he certainly, he was a topsy-turvy of emotions there, almost kind of like a Pittsburgh Steelers game out there in some sense. And we'll get into that. Yeah, the last name just Mosley and first name Dean is who I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm going to bring him up. And I'm also going to bring up maybe first name Brittany, last name Storm. And she says she's right on everything. But, I still got to bring up that question, which is what I am excited about. I have somebody here who I'm going to give a big shout out to, who doesn't work in the WVWF, but most certainly has a podcast that I think that this young lady will be on, and she does a great job writing for, because, oh, by the way, also Pro Wrestling Wire. I'll plug that, but I'm going to certainly have to walk a tightrope here tonight, not just for Aaron Rodgers' performance in the second half, what's to come, or Mike Tomlin's coaching, but because this woman is going to certainly definitely be fiery in many of what I'm going to say, especially after the fallout, like I said, from maybe the biggest show, figuratively and literally, in the WVWF's history. A new heat has arrived. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. She's the female Dave Meltzer, and she says she's always right. And she'll tell us why, because her name is simply put, and I've got to 5 to do this, Courtney. Dun, dun. Woo! My friend, how are we doing?
I'm not doing very well, Tom. It has been a very, very hard couple of days. You were right. We did have a Phoebe Harper fan club meeting scheduled. It is now a candlelight visual, and hoping to send all of our positive thoughts to her and so that she can come back and be the champion that we all know that she is. Um, there's just no words for how awful that was. It didn't need to happen. It just did not need to happen.
I mean, obviously, we're gonna show that footage here shortly, and I mean, we were forewarned though. You do remember last week on Sportswire when a man who I'm gonna certainly put at the center of this, Godric Sandwell, a man you know very well. I mean, we were forewarned this was going to happen by Daniel Tafu. I mean, we were warned this was going to happen to Phoebe Harper, and lo and behold, it happened. And what's even more, I guess, fascinating about all of this, Miss Wood, is that Godric actually showed up. And remember, on Tuesday's show, Godric said he wasn't showing up. He wasn't showing up to Parkersburg, West Virginia, but yet he showed up. And yet it still happened. And well, you might want to say Mr. Sandwell even got welcomed to the wasteland. So this whole thing, I mean, just truly a bizarre turn of events nonetheless.
Yeah, he showed up. He showed up way too late. The damage had already been done. So he might as well have just stayed away for all that he was able to do. Like he was completely ineffective and he let that happen to her. That
Well,
beautiful angel
yeah.
had been scraped off of the mat because of Godric.
I mean, we were 4-1. This basically was a shadowing of what was to come. I mean, obviously telegrams don't work, Godric. I mean, Godric Sandwell. He really should have just knocked on Phoebe's door and just told Phoebe just maybe not to have shown up. I mean, I know the outcome wouldn't have been what Phoebe had wanted. She's a competitor, but I think really at the end of the day, the moral of this story was that Phoebe should not have showed up, and Godric had to go to Phoebe's door. Maybe, on the phone, FaceTime. I mean, Facebook has that. You can video chat. I mean, there are so many ways that Godric had that opportunity between Tuesday night show and Saturday evening to have let Phoebe know what was ahead, and it didn't happen.
No, and I understand Godric's schedule is very, very busy. But he could have sent his butler Jeffrey something. He could have done more to prevent this from happening, and he just didn't.
So I guess then I'm gonna go back. We're gonna show that footage in a minute, and I know there's people here in the chat. They want to talk to you, and I want to shout out our good friend, Mr. Rick Del Santo. Rick, thank you for giving me a very nice plug on his platform yesterday. He gave me a nice plug. He said I should show up on his channel. He doesn't want to lose viewers. He doesn't want to lose viewers. He wants to gain viewers. He wants to see you on there. But nevertheless, we'll get to him. But I said it Tuesday night. The blood would be on Godric's hands. And figuratively and literally, I mean, I know Double L is here, but the blood is on Godric Sandwell's hands. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Godric Sandwell also, his own blood was on his own hands thanks to the collective. So, I mean, really, what it all comes down to is the blood is on Godric Sandwell's hands.
It is. It absolutely is. He knew Tafua better than anybody outside of the collective, of course. So he knew what was going to happen. You saw how impassioned
he on Tuesday's stream, and these men. Listen, I've seen it. You've seen it. We've had Godric coming on here now for I don't know over a year plus, right? Tafua, we've seen him here on Sportswire about the same length. We know these men have run in the same circles. We know that collective members in Godric Sandwell have gone up and down different promotions, different parts of the country, and yet it happened what we're going to show,
I want to take it back just a tiny bit further. When all of this started between Phoebe and Godric becoming a tag team, it involved Brittany Storm and Tafua.
Yes.
So that was very emotional for the both of them because the problem was really between Phoebe and Brittany, and Godric and
Mr. Tafua. Yes.
Tafua
This
got
happened about
drawn
3
into
months
it.
ago. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And that was about the spirit of competition. That was gentlemanly.
They were on here. It's a good point because they were here on Sportswire and they were saying, listen, we're friends. This is not, everybody's good. But yet it turned into what it turned into just less than 48 hours ago,
Oh, I know. And that's why I've held the position that I have. And that's why I said if it was going to happen, I was going to hold Godric responsible because he's the only one that has that connection to Tafua.
Yes.
Because we saw how complacent Ampo was in this. He wasn't going to stop it. We saw Lestat, he's being a multi-champion in other promotions. He wasn't going to stop it. Days hearing voices, I guarantee not one of those voices told him to stop it. No. So we needed a voice of reason, and that voice of reason was supposed to be Godric, and he failed.
And Mr. Ampo, obviously, who certainly had quite a travel to get to Parkersburg, was in Tokyo, Toronto, and then Parkersburg. He was in that ring, and he was certainly showing Godric to follow behind. And then we saw, what happened. Then, Mr. Tafua reintroduced himself to Godric kind of as a reminder to Tuesday's show on Sportswire. Yeah, I'm sure that was the topic, was the Sportswire chat on Tuesday in the ring. But I mean, we saw what happened there. And obviously, I'm sure that there are some people that would be holding a prayer-like vigil for Britain, for Phoebe Harper, somewhere where she is in a West Virginia hospital. And obviously the status of her in-ring career is in question at this point. But I mean, lo and behold, this is where we are. We're less than 48 hours from what happened. You're here tonight. You were supposed to be here celebrating Phoebe Harper, at least putting on a heck of a match. And maybe she wouldn't have won the match, but showing what she's done time and time again out there. And, getting ready to tell us about the Phoebe Harper fan club meeting tomorrow. But yet instead, we're not.
I know. It was extremely hard breaking the news to Riku St. Helen, who is as equal of a Phoebe Harper fan as I am. We were very much looking forward to the fan club meeting tomorrow. And it feels wrong to hold any type of festivities in this condition right now.
I understand.
It's too much.
I understand. And obviously, look, things do happen. And we do, before anything else, we want people to hit that sub button for Courtney because she is trying to get more subs, and hopefully instead maybe she'll do some more introductions now that she'll have some time on her hands with no Phoebe Harper fan club meeting. So I'm obviously going to show the footage and certainly wanted to remind the audience of what happened. So we're not going to put the volume up because I want to show it. And then this is where we fast forwarded to where Mr. Sandwell has arrived to Parkersburg, West Virginia. And here it is. And this is courtesy of Courtney's YouTube channel. Hit the sub button for Courtney. And Godric has arrived here. And he is trying to motion to his friend. And there is Ampo.
All right. Are you going to give the audience a trigger warning? Because this is deeply disturbing.
Oh, I can do this. I can do that. We did do that. I mean, we certainly don't want that's why we didn't want that volume up. But we saw what happened just there with Miss Harper and Godric. I have no idea what on earth was here going on. But obviously, yes, he is emotionally broken up, and I can understand that. I can certainly understand. And there is Ampo standing there. I mean, I can only imagine what Ampo was thinking. Maybe someone needs to talk to Ampo in Japanese. I don't know, but he does hand Mr. Tafua his championships, and obviously, like a champion that he is, you would think he would be leaving, but no. Welcome to the wasteland, and this is what you get, Godric Sandwell. And Courtney, I know, Courtney, don't cry for us here. Rick's here. Some others are here in management. Double L is here. Whatever you do, don't cry on us. But, I mean, this all could have been prevented. And we're showing the footage to remind people of what happened less than 48 hours ago in Parkersburg.
I know, Tom, you're just doing your job. It's just very hard to watch.
Listen, I don't hate Phoebe Harper. I mean, I respect Phoebe. I think she's a tremendous competitor. I think she's got a lot of charisma. She's fantastic to watch in the ring. And she's held her own against a slew of different stars in the WWF. I would love to see her continue to do what she does best. And unfortunately, what we're watching right now is, well, the worst of Phoebe Harper. And whether it may have been at the hands of Daniel Tafua in that mask, it seems like it's at the hands of one Godric Sandwell.
It is. It's completely on Godric's hands. He knows what that mask is capable of. We have seen it happen in their past. We saw how the mask changes Godric. So he knows its power, and he didn't do anything to stop this.
Well, he can certainly look, and it's all over but the shouting pretty much. And Courtney, I know obviously a lot of people are broken up about it. Obviously, it was a mixed emotions. And I think what's also noted about this is arguably one of the biggest crowds the WVWF's ever had. This was a huge turnout here. I mean, what a job by the locker room, management, everybody that in the WVWF to have put on a show like this with a response. I think this is unfortunately in the biggest stage anybody's been here in a long time in the WVWF. And for this to happen, I think it's magnified because of this.
It was. Imagine being a part of that amazing show and having all of that energy and having it end like that.
You know what? I don't wish that on anybody. I do want to point that out. I do not wish what happened to Miss Harper, because we saw Mr. Tafua, I think it was three times, right? 3 times off the top rope. It's one thing, it's once. Another thing, it's twice, but 3 times. 3 times, Miss Wood. You've been around a long time. I mean, you usually say you've got till 5, but that was more like 55. I mean, I can't drive 55. I mean, somewhere, maybe we'll get Sammy Hagar on Sportswire next. That's a different show for a different time. He may be coming. He's the Red Rocker. But right now, listen, Daniel Tafua, he rocks with the red screen. We know on Sportswire, he's got the red videos when he comes on here with that mask. I mean, like I said, Sammy Hagar's the Red Rocker, but Daniel Tafua, he's the man who rocks the red videos. And well, Phoebe Harper, well, she lost a lot of red, and that's blood, undoubtedly, after what we just saw and what you saw and everyone else Saturday night.
It was terrible. The red door was opened, just like Tafua had said. And it just didn't stop. Like, he just would not stop. He made his point. He won the match. He retained his championships, but it wasn't enough for the mask.
Well, he's a competitor. Listen, he's a competitor, and obviously he went through a lot in that match. Taxi was in there, and Taxi, definitely held his own, and certainly there was Wyatt Black, who you did get a little bit of redemption there. But apparently, Courtney, I've received word that there's somebody here, oddly enough, that wants to talk about what we just witnessed. Now, I know it's your night tonight, and I know we have some things to get to, but I know you're distraught. And I don't think this is Phoebe Harper, but I do have somebody here that wants to address some of the things we witnessed. Now, this is your show tonight, and I don't want to do anything to overstep those boundaries here in the WVWF, but should you allow me to, may I share my screen?
Okay.
I know you're going through a lot. I wish I could, be there for you, and I want to apologize to the fans. I want to apologize to the supporters of Phoebe Harper that we had to show that footage, but unfortunately, look, that's just the way it is. I don't want any competitors to have seen firsthand or have dealt with what Daniel Tafua did, but I mean, that's just the way it goes. But I have now been given the access by Miss Wood to share my screen, so I must do that here, because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Wait, is that at the door? And Godric Samuel.
You can't.
It's not.
It is. It's Godric Samuel. He's really here. He's here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry.
I completely understand. Obviously, look, a lot of emotions here, and you went to the wasteland, and obviously Phoebe Harper. I mean, listen, this was foreshadowed here at Sportswire on Tuesday, and I'm just giving you the floor to address all of this and some.
I just want to point out he was late again.
Now that's different shows, different wrestlers. He's here right now. He wasn't scheduled here tonight. He's actually showing up though to address what happened. He wasn't scheduled here. This was your show tonight. I just want to point that
out. Reverend Bryce, first of all, thank you for having me. I apologize. I was running a little bit behind.
No. You don't have to apologize. We wish this wasn't your scheduled appearance on Sportswire. You'll be back on, I'm sure, before the 7th, but I'm just going to let you speak into everyone else out there here in the WWF.
Thank you, Reverend. Miss Wood, again, I apologize for interrupting. I've been feeling messages. I've been feeling phone calls. Jeffrey has been flooded for the past 48 hours. I'm trying to figure out what the extent of these injuries are. I just found out probably not even too long before this that Miss Harper was rushed to the hospital, and I'm literally beside myself right now. Is anybody? And you're right.
The fact that you even have the nerve to look me in the face after what you did to Phoebe Harper. How could you do that?
Miss Wood, you're right. You're absolutely right. I wish there was something I could say that would make all of this right. I wish there was something I could do right now to take all this back. I'm sorry.
We can do a moment of silence for Phoebe if anybody would like. We can do a moment of silence if anybody would like. We can certainly do a moment of silence. I am a reverend. I mean, if anybody wants to, we can certainly do that right now. So maybe the best thing we can do while Mr. Sandwell tries to get back his composure is to please join me in a moment of silence for the fabulous Phoebe Harper. Thank you. So obviously, yes, we are certainly keeping Phoebe in our thoughts, and hopefully, Mr. Samuel, that can help you gain the strength here to just express in words what you are going through. And certainly, I'm sure you're going through a whirlwind of emotions after what you just said about Miss Harper and her condition.
This isn't about what I'm feeling right now. It is a whirlwind. I'm not gonna lie.
No, understand. We understand. There are people here in the chat. I mean, thank you, Zilla, for sending her prayers. I mean, Double L is here. I'm sure there are those in the locker room that will get wind of this later. I mean, so there's definitely people feeling that out there. Although it is very interesting tonight that Mr. Tafua, who's usually in the chat, is not around. So I'm not quite sure what that story is. Maybe we'll get to that later, but I know there are people here in the locker room, and there will be people later on who after the Steelers game or tomorrow will see this and obviously have their own feelings about this, and obviously it is what it is.
The only thing I can really say is my worry is Miss Harper right now. Where
was that worry when that monster was diving on her 3 times, Godric? You know how big Tafua is, and you know how small and perfect Phoebe Harper is, and he splashed her 3 times, and you just weren't there. Where was Jeffrey? Somebody, anybody. A telegram? Are you serious? It's 2026. A telegram? What's wrong with you? You might as well send a freaking carrier pigeon for as good as that was going to do for anybody.
You're right. You're right. Carol, I'm sorry.
Obviously, Mr. Sandwell, we certainly understand, and I don't want to keep you here much longer if these emotions are obviously running through your mind, and obviously it has been the question of why, Godric, why? I mean, the telegram was, didn't work. You did show up to the building. I give you brownie points at least for that. May have not helped in the overall outcome of Miss Harper and where her future is. You did show up to the building. You said you were not going to be there. You did show up. And then obviously Ampo, I mean, I don't know what the heck was going on there with that whole Ampo and you were gullible enough to have just let Ampo just turn away. But I mean, nevertheless, I mean, I understand you're going through a whirlwind of emotions. This is unlike you in prior Sportswire appearances, although last episode was certainly one that we ran the gauntlet. But I mean, if you'd like to say anything else further, I'm more than happy to let you.
Thank you as always. You honor me, Reverend Bryce.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, explain why you're here. Because I can see you're in a lot of eternal pain, just like Phoebe is right now in the hospital. So explain yourself. Why are you here?
Between all the messages, all the calls, all the telegrams that I've received over the last 48 hours, and just trying to figure all of this out. I saw what you had said a little while ago, and I was unable to respond. I apologize. I wanted to come on here. The only thing I could say is I'm sorry. I'm sorry I failed. I tried to warn her. I know her. She wouldn't have listened to me anyway. But I had to try something.
Fortunately, we're here tonight, and this is what happened. We did say on Tuesday's show this was a possibility. Mr. Tafua certainly warned us of it. I mean, you did know Mr. Tafua. We've seen you in multiple places, in multiple locker rooms with him. You knew him as good as anybody, but unfortunately, Mrs. Harper is where she is right now, and this episode has certainly had a whirlwind of events here tonight.
She's where she's at because of you. You did not try hard enough. You did not make it to the building in time. You let her go into that situation alone. It was 4-on-1 when you had an Ampo, and you let her go into that by herself.
I know! I know! I know! And it kills me. I know I failed. I put my turquoise in my way. Get up here. Blind piece of technology. I know. I wanted to believe that I could get through, possibly, to Mr. Tough Boy. Whatever it is that is in that mask, to try to plead my case. Like Cheryl, I failed. No!
Ladies and gentlemen, Godric Sandwell is just, beside himself. Unfortunately, it's too little too late because Phoebe Harper, we know where she is right now, and there is a lot of people that hold responsibility to the gentleman of exquisite caliber as to why Phoebe Harper is where she is right now. And even the kicker, Mr. Sandwell, you felt that wrath of Mr. Tafua. You felt that wrath as well. You felt it.
I know. And that's why I wanted to stop this with everything I had, with everything that I am.
It wasn't enough, was it? It wasn't good enough, was it, Mad Hatter? You know that it wasn't Tafua. You know the power of the mask. And you know what I just called you and why I just called you that.
Mad Hatter, you called me that after all this time, after everything that we've been through together. After
What about what you and Phoebe have been through together while she's laying in a hospital bed right now? You know the power of that mask, Godric.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. It's intoxicating, to say the least. I've been against it. I've been with it. But it's too dangerous in one man's hands. It is.
It is. And you let her go in there alone.
Did you really think I could have stopped her? You know what kind of person that Phoebe is. Any idiom that you want. Tougher than a $2 steak. More sturdy than a stalwart of a Spartan.
Yeah, I know what kind of person Phoebe Harper is, but I also thought I knew what kind of person you were. You're supposed to be a gentleman. Isn't that the whole reason why you were teaming with Phoebe Harper to begin with? Was so that she didn't have to face things alone? Wasn't that the whole point of the stars aligning?
And I do want to point out that even Wyatt Black has come in here. The Controversy King did want to share a few words. And he has also mentioned that when he comes back, he will avenge Phoebe Harper. And he will take Mr. Tafua out. So when Wyatt Black comments, and some would even say shows some reasonableness here, and a comment that is un-Wyatt Black-like, but rather a sensible one, that's kind of where we are right now. But obviously, Mr. Sandwell, I know a lot you're going through, and, we were warned of this on Tuesday's show. We were warned by this. We were warned.
You see the power of the mask. Look how it's affecting Wyatt Black.
No disrespect when I say this, Reverend Bryce.
Yes, sir.
And Miss Wood. You're right. You're right. It was my job to look out for her. It was my job to make sure that things stayed on a level playing field. And like with Cheryl, I let my conquest get in my way. I did. And I have done everything I can to avenge her every day for my failure. All I ever wanted to do was atone my sins. Here I am again. Here I am again. I failed Miss Harper. I failed her.
You did.
Absolutely right.
I
You're right.
know. I always am. I just really hoped in this case I was not going to be. The one time I wanted to be wrong.
I mean, this is unfortunately this was not the way we would have hoped tonight's episode would have gone. And Miss Wood is obviously beside herself, and the fan. I mean, Wyatt Black is even saying we've got a common enemy, and who would have known or ever thought the day would come on Sportswire that Wyatt Black, to some would say the controversy king, is showing that he's sensible, because obviously he said a few things that we're here with. And I mean, Mr. Sandwell, yes.
Mr. Black, I thank you. If you're listening right now, thank you. But do not, please. If there is one time you're going to listen to somebody that knows better, please listen to me now. Please, with everything that I am, do not approach Mr. Tafua. Don't go there. Excuse me, just 1 second. Jeffrey, please tell me that's you. Please excuse me just one second.
Yes. And obviously we are certainly just, I mean, what
That's
a
Jeffrey.
episode. And the lovable Lester wants to also say that Mr. Black was also injured at the hand of Mr. Tafua during the match and was seen at the hospital. No one is safe from that mask and Daniel Tafua. That is absolutely correct. I mean, Daniel Tafua did warn us about that, and he has been on Sportswire many times with Mr. Sandwell over the past year. So we've known about this. Also, Double L did want to say about Ampo's actions were strange. I mean, Ampo, well, he had, to be fair, listen, I don't want to get in the middle, but Ampo had to connect from Tokyo to Toronto to Parkersburg. So obviously, Ampo, maybe he just thought he was in Tokyo somewhere, and who knows there. But obviously, is Jeffrey a figment of his imagination? I have no idea. Right? I have no idea, ladies and gentlemen. And we have to get Lester on very soon. Yes, Mr. Sandwell.
It's not good.
What,
The prognosis is not good.
what is not good, Godric? What did Jeffrey tell you?
Miss Harper is not going to be able to make it to the next show.
No, say it ain't so. Ladies and gentlemen, please repeat that. This can't be true.
I'm afraid it is.
No.
Miss Phoebe Harper can't make it to the show on the 7th. It's all my fault. It's all my fault.
She's out of She's out of action right now. You let that monster hurt her that badly that she's not going to be there on the 7th. We've seen her fight Enoch and Day Jameson and all these guys and come out fine. One time you're not there to help her and now she can't compete.
Yes.
I can't believe it. How could you let this happen?
Have I done? What have I done?
Well,
You failed.
the damage is already done. The damage is done because we have now received word from Godric Sandwell that Phoebe Harper will not be in action at the next WVWF show, February 7th. So apparently the big game, it may come on the 8th, but Phoebe Harper's not going to be in action. She's not going to be competing. And that is certainly news that, I mean, it's not a surprise to any, especially after what we just saw less than 48 hours ago in the Richardson Building, 325 7th Street, Parkersburg, West Virginia. I mean, but this was certainly something that was foreshadowed on Tuesday's show with Daniel Tafua. And obviously, Godric Sandwell, too little, too late. And you felt that wrath of it. And now Miss Harper's out of action. And I don't even know what else you could say further to help the situation.
Miss Wood, that final line that you wrote for those match results that I had stake 48 hours ago. What was it again?
I can pull that up right in front of me. I actually have it right in front of me. And the words were, "They would pay," were the last words that Miss Wood had wrote. And I have the article right here, thanks to the Pro Wrestling Wire website. And it is, "They would pay." They would pay is what you said, Mr. Sandwell. They would pay.
And they will pay.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've seen enough here. We've seen Mr. Sandwell. I hope that they pay. I hope that we'll eventually see Miss Harper back in the WWF, and I really hope that she'll be there on time.
Reverend Bryce, of all people, you know, we all have our demons.
Yes, we have plenty of demons. We all have
I am no different from all of them. We all have a madness within us. That mask. It may help, Mr. Tafua! But it leaves a print on others too. There are parts of me from long ago. That is why I chose to be a gentleman. That is why I try everything in my power to be reasonable. That is why I try to smile. That is why I try to atone my sins, to avenge those that I had failed. I tried to bury it in places that I don't like to talk about, that nobody would. But that mask, it's afflicting. And I said it earlier, it's intoxicating, it's addicting. It unlocks something terrible deep within him.
You're not talking about what I think you're talking about, are you?
What do you think I'm talking about?
You
The sins
know.
of my past? My sins! Yeah. I made them all pay for her. I made them pay. But the fact is, all of that was on me. It was on Godric.
Was it on Godric or was it on somebody else? What color is your jacket right now, Godric?
The color of my jacket is not what's important right now.
Oh, but it is.
There are devils among us. And Tapua is at least honest with himself about it. Whereas it's a fact I would rather deny for everyone else's sake because I want to smile. I want to be the one that saves everybody instead. But that mask made me realize one thing. It did. There are some things that you simply can't run from. That no matter where you go, no matter what fields lay barren, no matter the color on the ground, no matter what color the walls are, no matter the technology that lay before you, no matter the shake, the quake, it doesn't matter. You can't run. You can't hide. And if you do, you're just gonna have to face it tired. You're just gonna have to face it when there's nothing left to give. And that mask reminded me of that. A fact that I tried to run from for so long. But I can no longer. I didn't want Phoebe to pay the price. I understand what she wanted, and I wanted her to have it all. I wanted her star to rise, hence the stars aligned. And I failed in that mission. I failed her, and I need to take that upon myself. But there is one thing I can still do. I can't do it right now. I don't know where Tapua is right now. But that mask's presence, I know it lurks. I know it's somewhere. It's in the ether. It can pop out at any moment. I am fighting with everything in my body, everything in what power lies within my heart and in my soul, and in every ounce of my honor to not go find it myself.
Godric, you find it.
Reverend Bryce, what was that line one more time, please? Please, Reverend. What was it again?
They would pay. They would pay.
And that's exactly what is going to happen. Open that red door! Lead me into the house of splatter, if that's what it takes. Because that color of the coat, to answer your question, Miss Wood, because I didn't forget, is there are some devils that clad in red. Yes, they do. There are some that clad themselves in the purest holy of white. But this devil, this one, this one wears blue. And believe me when I tell you, for Miss Harper's honor, for all of the people that I have failed, for all of the angels that have befallen, for the demons that will rise, for the red door that I am forced to kick in. Mr. Tapua, if you see this, your body, your mind, I'm sorry now for you. But what is in that mask, that presence, that demon, that whatever it is, that is what my motivation is right now. Miss Harper, if I am to be vengeance, if I am to be the one And that is what a devil in a blue coat is motivated to do. And if you want to call me the Mad Hatter, that's perfectly fine because we're all mad in here. Now, if you will excuse me, everything that was said here tonight, you were right. You were right about me. I failed. I failed. Now, I seek to make this right.
He said they would pay, and well, I think we got the answer. Eventually, it happened. It certainly took us a while, but Godric Sandwell has now went to a depth that we haven't seen him certainly in previous Sportswire appearances, especially Tuesday's show, but especially after the events that transpired less than 48 hours ago in the Richardson building. Courtney Wood, I mean, Godric Sandwell says he's going to take on Daniel Tafua, and he's certainly gone down to a depth that I don't think Godric Sandwell or any man has gone before, and especially when it comes to the one and only WVWF hybrid and the USWA Universal Champion Daniel Tafua. But I guess this is the only way it can be, especially after we heard the news, Courtney, that Miss Harper is out of action on February 7th, the next WVWF show. But I definitely I was here for all of it, and eventually we got to where Godric seems like he's going down his own road, just with a different color.
I cannot believe all that just happened. I have seen this before in his previous failures to capture heavyweight championship gold.
You can see that he tried to certainly go down a different road and embrace an inner, and obviously that did not work out. But I mean, I think Miss Harper is somebody who he did try to watch over for, these past several months in the WVWF, and there's obviously that personal responsibility that Mr. Sandwell seems like he's taking full acceptance of, and now he's going to go down that path of redeeming himself and taking on that fight and that honor, that fight for Phoebe Harper, and especially when it comes to Daniel Tafua, the WVWF hybrid champion.
There's nothing honorable about the devil in the blue coat. It is the complete antithesis of who Godric Sandwell is. Every moral code that Godric has is gone when he's under the influence of being the devil in the blue coat. I've seen that firsthand, and that is what he needs to tap into if he is going to get revenge, because it's not redemption, it's revenge for Phoebe Harper. That is the only way it is possible for him to atone for any of this, is for him to tap into that blue coat and the power and the just darkness that comes with that.
I mean, listen, unfortunately, this is where we're at. And Miss Harper, I mean, her future for now is on the shelf and in a hospital bed. And I mean, we even had Wyatt Black on here, show some sensibility in comments. And we have our Hall of Fame monitor, Justin Parsley, who doesn't know what he walked into, and then brought up Dave Jamieson. Well, Dave Jamieson right now is not in the WVWF. So that was a previous episode. I hate to disappoint Mr. Parsley, but right now Godric Sandwell is, and that doesn't seem like that's really satisfying Miss Wood. But I mean, he did say they would pay. Your last name is Wood, so I guess they would pay. And maybe it's Mr. Tafua and the Mask that will pay, but Mr. Sandwell's got an uphill battle, I'll tell you that much.
He does. But I don't know if Tafua knows what he just caused, what he just unleashed. The devil in the blue coat We saw him tap into that when he was fighting La El Shaddai.
Yes, yes, in a different company. Yes, where he was trying for months to win a championship somewhere, and I actually, if you remember, Mr. Tafua was actually the one trying to tell Mr. Sandwell to embrace that devil in the blue coat, and boy, how the tables have turned. I mean, just
Because he knows.
that was
Godric
about 9 months ago. About 9 months ago, we were all here, and Mr. Tafua was trying to tell Mr. Sandwell to embrace that devil in the blue coat. Maybe he should have listened to that advice a little sooner, but I mean, I guess now it's come to it. Desperate times call for desperate measures, you know?
Well, Godric Sandwell is a man of honor, and he wanted to obtain a championship through honorable competition. We are past that now.
No, there's no honorability now. I mean, right now, I mean, it's listen, that's gone out the window. I mean, Godric Sandwell, and he may be the gentleman of exquisite caliber, but he can't be that now, especially. And we saw him carry out Miss Harper. And Miss Harper was just lifeless. She had nothing. I mean, who knows if she's even woken up? It almost reminds me. I have a friend who's supposed to visit a friend in New Jersey that's in a coma, and I hate to compare, but Miss Harper might also be in a coma for all we know, and that's pretty much what's happening so far tonight.
Can we not do that, please?
What?
Let's not speculate. We already know that she's not going to be there on the 7th. Let's not.
I mean, Godric's. That's really at the hands of Godric Sandwell. I mean, we're just doing our job here in Sportswire. You may want to remind Godric Sandwell of that when we're off the air. That Phoebe Harper's health and her well-being is due to Godric Sandwell and his inability to prevent what was forewarned here, foreshadowed on this platform, forewarned, whatever you want to call it. This could have easily been prevented. Yet a telegram, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know anybody who uses that thing.
There's just no excuse for that.
It was a great Alice in Chains song, but I mean, this is not for Godric Sandwell. He can't use that. And I mean, listen, I mean, there's no jar of flies here. I mean, the only thing we're looking at is just, I mean, the pieces left of Phoebe Harper, her in-ring career right now. And I mean, just, I don't even know. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have to find out what happens. But inconspicuous in his absence is one Daniel Tafua. Daniel Tafua is here on every Sportswire. He's here in the chat. He comes in. He shows up. And he's not even here tonight. I mean, don't you think that to me, is the most peculiar thing of the entire show? Is Daniel Tafua is nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
No, I expected nothing less. I am a very honest and blunt person.
You have definitely been that. You have been that for sure.
Have I said anything negative about Tafua?
No, not that I can know. In the almost year I've known you, I don't remember any episode where you had any issues with Daniel Tafua.
Exactly, because it's not Tafua, it's the mask. Tafua is the one that used the mask to get the original one-on-one canceled. He tried. The mask was too powerful. So the fact that Tafua now has had days to get that energy out of his system and is sitting with what has happened. He is a good man. I know that he does not want to address any of this. And the fact that Godric Sandwell had the audacity to look me in my face and even try to explain that was just beyond me.
You were in that building. You were there. You witnessed the whole thing. I mean, you were in that building.
It was so hard. I was having an amazing night. We saw Cody Maverick win a championship. I got to slap Wyatt Black across the face.
You did. It's certainly the footage that's been heard around the world, shown on YouTube and elsewhere. And thank you to Taxi for making that magical moment happen. And you talked about Cody Maverick. I mean, what an amazing story. Cody Maverick, a man that was here less than 24 hours before that historic moment. And, he poured his heart out. He talked about he didn't know what was left for him in his in-ring career. He talked about win or go home, and he talked about the emotions he's went through from his dear friend, the late, great Ryan James. He's talked about his family. He's talked about the struggles that he's went through in his in-ring career. And this was basically win or go home, and just determination for him to pull through and to win that King of the Mountain championship. I mean, we had Dean Mosley coming here. I thought that was the most interesting debut I've seen in a long time. And a man that, he may be showing up to Sportswire even tomorrow. He might be here tomorrow. There's a possibility. I don't want to say 100%. But, I mean, with him, I mean, what a bizarre debut he has. Goes up against Dax Preacher, and then, Nate Steele saves him, and then he low blows Nate Steele, doesn't want any help. And I know Dean Mosley. I know him from the other West Virginia company, the WDWA, and then Brittany Storm. I mean, how about her situation? I mean, there was so much that happened here at this historic new heat. How about Cease and Desist winning and retaining the tag team championship? The whole thing with the draw that they would Double L throws them out. They come back in. And then DB Rivera is kind of confused. The locker room empties out to make the save. And, just so many things happen. But yet it seems tonight, it's foreshadowed of what happened to Phoebe Harper.
I know. That casts such a dark shadow on an amazing night. That entire building was filled with people that were cheering on Cody Maverick to win that championship. We have seen him go through the heavyweight division.
Yep.
We've seen him try to level up and almost get there and not make it. But then he was
the heavyweight title last year, the hybrid championship. I mean, this was a man that wasn't even on WVWF cards. I mean, even his last match against one Michael Everything, a man very well, and he was in firm control of the match, and Michael Everything finds a way to get a victory. I mean, Cody Maverick, I mean, literally, this could have been the last match of his career this past Saturday, but somehow, and those fans, they wanted it, and I had said on Friday's show with Cody Maverick that those fans were going to be the seventh man. I think those fans willed him there, and if there was anybody that needed that moment, I mean, people talk about in wrestling history, the boyhood dream, Shawn Michaels winning the WWF championship at the time in WrestleMania 12. People bring up the Georgia Dome in 98. I mean, they're just unbelievable. But apparently we have received word confirmed Phoebe Harper, the fabulous one, will not be fabulous on February 7th because she is not able to compete. And we will have updates. And if we are here tomorrow with Dean Mosley, which there's a very strong possibility, we may get more updates, and we will have more WVWF coverage between now and the 7th. I believe Cease and Desist are on their way back as well before the show. They're going to have a lot to say, especially after what happened there. So there's a lot of WVWF coverage here, and hit the sub button for Courtney. And also, the draw should have kept their nose out of our business. We beat them almost every time we step across from them. Yeah. I mean, well, the draw, they'd want to show they're the draw, and Bam Allen and DB Rivera, I would love to see. I mean, how about that spot in the middle of the match, Courtney, with Cease and Desist and DB Rivera and Bam Allen? I mean, you want to talk about 5 stars? You are the female Dave Meltzer. I mean, you could definitely rate that one 6 out of 5 stars.
It was amazing. Seeing Bam Allen do a top rope frog splash. I don't know if I saw it exactly what I saw, but I was pretty sure he landed on one member of Cease and Desist and kind of tapped the other one below the belt on his way down. That's at least what it looked like to me. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, listen, this was one. I mean, I got to tell you, what an electrifying match. You want to talk about that's to me the term that I'll think of as electrifying. These 4 guys, I hope we see them all out there again, because these competitors, I mean, we know DB Rivera, he's been other places, and this guy can go. And Bam Allen's come in here a short time, and he is a rising superstar. If there was ever won figuratively and literally in cease and desist. I mean, they have certainly come in here despite some of the odds against them these last 3 or 4 months in the WVWF, and they have held those tag team championships. But I got to tell you, DB Rivera and Bam Allen, for a team that didn't have any experience as a team, they put up a hell of a contest, and this was one of the most electrifying matches in WVWF history. And I hope that these guys go out there and compete again. But just these guys, I mean, the draw certainly, I guess, overshadowed what happened here in this particular match. They were thrown out of ringside. They came in afterwards, and DB Rivera seemed to be confused, and that's certainly there's some questions there that need to continue to be answered, I suppose.
It's his fault. He was confused. I had the very fortunate opportunity.
That quite a bit. I did hear that, Courtney. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I had interviewed Mr. Rivera for my pre-show, and I told him to watch his back. I told him, do not let the draw catch you slipping. And it pained me to say that because I love the draw. I'm a big fan of the draw minus white black. But I did
maybe you liked Wyatt's comments tonight. Maybe you liked Wyatt's comments tonight. You may not want to admit it. Deep down, though, you liked his comments.
I appreciate that he is on the right side of this history. So I will give him that. But I informed Mr. Rivera what kind of men you were dealing with the draw. You cannot sit there and do what Nate Steele did and expect not to get that pushback. See, Nate Steele and Aaron James have a very long history with that. And we saw Nate Steele floundering, quite frankly, because we saw his brother, Ryan, go off and fight the world, and he was just kind of floundering. So out of the good, magnanimous heart of Aaron James, he brought his brother into the fold. He gave him a chance to be home again. But it was like the Trojan horse for Team WVWF. He infiltrated the draw and then betrayed them. So yeah, that's exactly the kind of men, that's the kind of reaction you're going to get when you do that. And I informed Mr. Rivera of doing that, that was going to happen, despite it being deserved. Because
maybe he needed to see the lay of the. Well, listen. To be fair, maybe Mr. Rivera needed to see the lay of the land. Maybe he needed to see firsthand. He's been around, and maybe he felt, even though he knew you, but he needed to see firsthand, and that's why we saw what happened. I guess. I mean, I would certainly be more than happy to have Mr. Rivera on anytime he wants on Sportswire, and we would love to have him on to explain it. I mean, but I guess to defend him in some sense, since he's not here, maybe he needed to see it firsthand.
Well, I will tell you this. If you watch the footage of Dean Mosley's interaction with Nate Steele, you can clearly hear me yelling, "Do not trust him." And Dean listened.
Yes, I watched that footage. Yes, I will put it up in a few minutes. I did see that. You're not wrong.
Right. Dean listened to me. And did Dean get attacked? No. He's getting a Mountain State Championship match on the 7th because he listened to the warning that I was nice enough to give.
Well, I think also Mr. Mosley, and he had pointed out that he don't need no one's help. He doesn't come here and expect help. He's here for himself. That's Mr. Mosley's side of the story. But Mr. Rivera, I mean, look, I'm going to hear from Mr. Mosley as soon as tomorrow, possibly. You can, I'm sure, hear his response, and maybe you'll feel vindicated. You always say I'm right. Well, maybe Mr. Mosley will prove that point. But Mr. Rivera, he's been around, and he felt he needed to see the lay of the land. That's all I can really say. I would hope that Mr. Rivera will see him again, and I hope Mr. Allen and Mr. Rivera are licking their wounds from what happened, and we get a chance to see them, whether it's against cease and desist or in this fight with the draw. I mean, I don't know what their plans are. I mean, I hope they have more plans than the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, not that I'm against the Steelers. I was rooting for them to win tonight, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, the only plans they'll have right now is plans for the golf course. But hopefully DB Rivera and Bam Allen have more plans than that, and we'll see him back in the Richardson building on February 7th.
All I'm saying is that was their first night in the company, and I gave warnings to both of them. One listened, and who had the better night? The one who listened.
Well, I would say.
All I'm gonna say.
Well. Wait, not so fast, to quote Lee Corso. They both had the same outcome, though.
No,
They both lost.
They both lost their matches, but Dean was able to beat up Nate Steele.
But
Whereas
he lost.
he lost against Blue Collar Beef. But I had no idea that match was going to happen because Beef laid out an open challenge. So I did not have all the information.
I understand
But
that. I understand.
I knew Mr. Rivera was going to be involved in something regarding the tag team championships, which would directly involve the draw. So I had the information in that instance. So,
Well, I mean, look, I think that DB Rivera and Bam Allen had weeks to prepare, and they obviously, it didn't work out to their advantage. Mr. Mosley decided he was answering the open challenge to Dax Preacher. I mean, he did. He had his reasons. He came up short, and the same outcome that Rivera and Allen had now. And we'll have to see what Mr. Mosley will do differently now that he has an announced match, but he did it for reasons that,
James.
There he is. Yes, Aaron James,
right there.
the WWF champion, once again interfering because does Lester, the Double L, had said they could not interfere during the match and threw them out, but after the match, there was nothing to prevent them from interfering, and there is DB Rivera.
Exactly. It wasn't interference. The match was over. That was a message.
Yeah, I say no. I pointed that out. That's why they were actually able to return, and here comes the locker room to come in here and even the score, and more than even the score. And DB Rivera might be wondering, just kind of like Aaron Rodgers with the offensive line. Yes, Courtney.
What's Josh Jade gonna do? That's absurd.
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I'm sure. We'll find out. I mean, we've got plenty of time. We've got 26 days, 26 days, 25 as of tomorrow between now and the 7th of February.
Yeah. I mean, look at poor DB. He's so confused. Imagine that being your first night.
But you know what, though? But he showed class and hugged his competitors. That's a sign of class. Mosley, he didn't. Nate Steele came out to help him, and he got a low blow. I mean, listen, DB Rivera at least showed some class. I mean, I'm not saying who's right or who's wrong, but there's two sides to every story, and one was another way. And DB Rivera has just decided that he wanted to be a good sport and show sportsmanship.
Are you besmirching the good character of Dean Mosley?
No, I wasn't saying whether Mr. Mosley's right or wrong. What I'm saying is Mr. Rivera showed sportsmanship. Mr. Mosley went out and did it his way, which was low-blowing the man that helped him after his match. His reason specifically was that he didn't need any help. You know, it's a dog-eat-dog business. I say it all the time. When obviously, Miss Wood, you may either need to remind yourself how many times I've said that. I've been doing this for 5 years when it comes to wrestling covers. So I'm not a newbie. And I've said that every time for 5 years. It's a dog-eat-dog business. So Mr. Mosley is entitled to do that. But Mr. Rivera, he showed sportsmanship. Now, the fans in Parkersburg, West Virginia may decide they want to side with Mr. Rivera and Mr. Allen, whereas the fans may have a different feeling toward Mr. Mosley. We'll have to find out. I mean, I'm not telling you what's right or wrong. One showed sportsmanship. The other showed the dog-eat-dog business side of the sport. Simple as that. But I'll tell you what they both have in common. They both were in Godric Sandwell.
That's true.
Both were in Godric Sandwell. You can't knock him from that vantage point because we know Godric Sandwell had blood on his hands. And to remind everybody here, I mean, it took him long enough, but he's now embraced that devil in the blue coat. And he did remind us what you wrote. Your words, young lady. They would pay. Get it? They would pay. Your last name would pay.
I simply wrote what happened.
I understand. Just like we showed the footage of what happened. Not saying we condone senseless acts of violence. We certainly don't want to, especially what's going on in this world these days. We don't want to do that. We don't certainly want to do that. But it's what it is. What it is. I mean, get it. But if you want to read some of Miss Wood's results and also watch some of the matches, I would really encourage you to do so. This was one of the most successful shows in West Virginia wrestling history, not just WVWF history. You can read all about it on the ProWrestlingWire.net website, and it's run by the one and only Mr. Rick Del Santo. And Rick does a great job in his own right. He does work in the PAPW arena, why is the PAPW arena so important, Courtney? Because the PAPW arena is the home of these two guys you probably heard of named Paul Roma and Mario Mancini. Oh, they were only mainstays in the WWF and WCW. And he does work with them. He also does some work with our friend over in Pure Vanguard Wrestling and out of the great state of Connecticut. And the great state of Connecticut's always been a fond state of mine. It's one of the few states, Courtney, that I've been to. It's one of the few states I actually have family in. And on top of that, it's a state that I have been in many times, which I can't say much about many other states, but my home state. And that's why Rick is a part of things. And we want to support the Pro Wrestling Wire website. And Courtney has written many articles there, and she wrote about the historic New Heat show. And also, we want to point out that Cody Maverick is the brand new King of the Mountain champion. And he did get his revenge on Michael Everything. We had Bear Claw and Wildcat. Got to have that. I mean, that was obviously a rematch we'll see coming up. And I'd love to see Wildcat back out there. And Wyatt Black won't be happy. And, Brittany Storm, who's always a topic. I mean, Riku St. Helen and Brittany Storm. I mean, you were right on that. I mean, maybe one day we'll see something there with Brittany Storm. Hopefully, she's had her problems with the collective. She's wanted to go her own way. I mean, we'll see what happens there. Nate Steele continues his reign as the Mountain State champion, defeating Tony Sane and Josh Jade. You mentioned Josh Jade earlier, and obviously we saw Steele and Jade come out. You did point that out. And Dax Preacher was in a very bad mood. Courtney, I think that was an understatement. I'll put that footage up here in a minute, but Dax Preacher was in a very bad mood. He was probably in as bad a mood right now as Steelers fans leaving the building right now in Pittsburgh. I can tell you that much here. Dean Mosley, a guy, and Courtney, I got to remind you, I know Dean Mosley from the WDWA, the great state of West Virginia. He is a fantastic player. I want to say one thing about Dean Mosley, because I know this man. I know him, and I've seen him in the ring against a man I've interviewed also in the great state of West Virginia, and that would be Ace Christian. Dean Mosley is a fantastic competitor. So I'll tell you what, if Nate Steele is going to get the Dean Mosley I've seen in another promotion he worked for in West Virginia, Nate Steele's days may be numbered as the Mountain State champion. I will tell you that much. I have seen him out there in the ring, so you'll definitely be in a treat there. We talked about the tag team championship. We talked about that quite a bit, and obviously we talked at length. And Godric Sandwell was here. This was not an announced Godric Sandwell appearance, and boy, Godric Sandwell, he had some explaining to do, and he did explain himself. And it was obviously what it was, and I do want it to make Courtney feel better. I got something for you. We'll move on and talk about a few more things tonight, but obviously, Courtney, I wanted to make you feel better and showing you this footage because you remember doing this?
I do. I did look at everything. Look at that. Bam!
Bam. Let's show that again, ladies and gentlemen. Did we get the wrong footage? We don't want to show that footage. Courtney will then throw us off the air. She'll slap us. We don't want that. We have Mark Farner and Grand Funk Railroad to come back on, so we don't need any slapping. Let's get the footage back up. Okay, here we go. There we go. One more time. Let's do it in slow motion here for you, Courtney. For you in slow motion. Can I get it? Yes, I can. Slow motion here. You ready?
Yeah. Look at Michael Everything.
Just for you, Courtney. Slow motion. You get it? See it?
Look at that face. Look at that face. Don't you want to hit him? Don't you just want to?
Well, I can't hit anybody. That's going to hurt. That's going to leave a mark. That is going to certainly leave a mark. And one more time for the audience.
That was the greatest moment of my wrestling life. Look at that. Look at that kid. Look at that.
So,
and I just want to point out that he is 18, so I can keep my teaching license. I just want to point that out.
Well, I have a feeling that there are some people in locker rooms and other places, and even within the WVWF, that were probably cheering you on for that you normally don't align yourself with. But I do not want to, agree or disagree with that. But I will tell you what you should do is follow Courtney on YouTube and give her a sub so she can do maybe more announcing, hopefully, instead of slapping. And hopefully Wyatt Black can compete on February 7th. Hopefully, after what he went through, by the way, a heck of a match. And obviously, we're excited for what's ahead. And, I got a couple more things I want to talk with you on, but I do have to give you something. And, I can't give you Phoebe Harper's health back, but what I can do is I can't do that. Unfortunately, listen, I can't do that. Hopefully, she'll eventually return. She's a strong woman. I'm sure that she will, but I will share my screen because it's your day today. So congratulations. Although I don't know if this was the day you had envisioned, but it is your day. And I know it can't quite bring back the Phoebe Harper fan club meeting tomorrow, but I can at least give you this and you'll get the physical copy. And Godric Samuel at least said they would pay. He did say at least they would pay to end his segment. So, I mean,
Well, I don't want to hear that from Godric Samuel. I want to hear that from the devil in the blue coat.
You might. I mean, listen, we'll find out. I mean, hopefully Godric's on time on February 7th. But obviously that's that. And I do want to obviously show that Dean Mosley footage because Dean Mosley may be here on Sportswire tomorrow. Depends on scheduling. I do think I have a guest, but we may need to move him because Dean Mosley is a big topic right now. And obviously did want to show that footage of what happened with Mr. Mosley and also Mr. Steele, who did help him, conspicuous in his absence. We're going to change the playback settings here because I realize I'm on still. There we go. Now we fixed it. There we fixed it. We don't want to go put the entire footage on slow, but obviously we see what's happened here, and there it goes, Courtney. There it is. There it is.
He got Nate Steele right in his little outlaw.
He did. He got him in those jewels. He got him. I mean, listen. Can't tell you otherwise. And he takes a microphone and he's made quite an entrance. I mean, there was definitely two debuts. There was one side of the coin and one Dean Mosley, who was seeing on the screen. The other one was DB Rivera. Both had the same outcome, but time will tell in the long run who'll be better off. I will ask Mr. Mosley that question. I can promise you that. I will ask him that. And there it goes. There it goes. And, but to me, I think one of the things before we leave tonight is Cody Maverick. To me, that's what I'm going to remember as a positive. That was Cody Maverick, the inspirational story. And he will be on here very soon to celebrate. And I know he may be celebrating as a Bengals fan about the Steelers being eliminated, but certainly an emotional roller coaster that man has went through here in the WVW, but to finally win a championship. And he did it, and he had a lot of odds stacked against him. But I am going to remember what Cody Maverick was able to do, the frat boy. And this man who's been in our sport for almost 2 decades to finally win a championship and to be the first champion. Everybody remembers the first. And this was one of the biggest shows in West Virginia wrestling history, biggest show arguably in WWF history. The crowd was so behind him. They willed him. And I think that's what I'm going to remember as a positive is the frat boy Cody Maverick becoming the first ever King of the Mountain champion.
Well, that is the best way to look at it. We were having a great night until everything happened at the very, very end of the show. The crowd was just amazing, and they really, really wanted Maverick to win. We all wanted Maverick to win. So to see him hold that title up and get that admiration from the fans and get the flowers and the respect that he's earned. It's not even deserved, it's earned.
Absolutely.
And it was just a really, really good moment.
No, I think that's well said. As well said, you could have pointed it out. And this is a man that has done so much for our sport. He has given his body, and he has gone up and down this circuit, the Northeast and the Mid Atlantic, for the better part of 2 decades. And for him to finally come away with a championship, I think it was well deserved and earned. And there was no better person, I think, to win the King of the Mountain championship than Cody Maverick. I would be so curious on what he does with it. He did talk about the fact he wanted to give the young guys an opportunity with that championship. So I really think that would be so interesting if we see him against some up and comers. That could be anybody in the WWF. And we saw a lot of different people come in, especially and compete. And there is the Rare Bird, who I know is going to talk about this very soon on here. And congratulations. He is lucky we didn't get to touch gloves in that battle royal. Listen, the Rare Bird certainly, he made quite a case about that here. It didn't work out to his advantage. I know he has also competed elsewhere for a heavyweight championship, and we'll have to see if maybe he'll get singles gold in the WWF soon. Although I think right now he's got to fight to keep on those championships on his waist with the one and only hype man Dan Lasers. But yeah, Dean's going to come on here. So I think tomorrow, I think it could be tomorrow night. I think Dean's got a few things to say, so we may do that. But we'll certainly make sure everyone hears about that. Before we move on here, and obviously a roller coaster of emotions here tonight. Roller coaster of emotions. Definitely did not expect Godric Sandwell being here and turning out the way it did. But is there anything else you want to plug or share? Anything related to WWF or elsewhere?
Well, I don't know about plug, but I want to bring up one little interesting thing regarding Cody Maverick. Prior to this match, he had faced Michael Everything. Michael Everything won. They faced off. They were the final 2 men in the Battle Royal, and it turned into a one-on-one match where Maverick won. So they're 1-1. So to me, math has never been my strong suit. But
stop it! You know everything. You're everything. Courtney Wood, like Michael Everything. Courtney Wood knows everything. Stop it! Don't lie to us here.
I'm just being honest.
You have what? 12 degrees? Come on. You have 12 or 13 degrees? Come on, stop.
Title defense should be against Michael Everything.
That's a good point. I tell you what, that would be, you know what? That's the rubber match. They always say the rubber match. Everything got the pin on the 20th. This past weekend on the 10th, Maverick gets the pin. So on the 7th, I would love to see the trilogy, the rubber match. I mean, they've got a little bit of history. They've got something going. I think people would like to see that match. I think that would be mano a mano. And I'll ask Cody Maverick when he returns to Sportswire who he thinks he should face. I think that's an excellent conversation to have.
It just is what makes sense to me.
No, I think that's a very. I think that makes a lot of sense. I tell you what, I mean, just like how you talk about Brittany Storm, you always say she's right. You're right about Brittany, and I hope one of these days Brittany maybe, figures it out. But once again, she came up empty-handed.
She did. And that was for the first time ever, because I'm pretty used to seeing her lose. That actually hurt me because I see what she's trying to do. And she's trying to be her own person outside of the collective. Because, if you look at the collective, there's such strong personalities, and it's hard to stand out when you have Day Jameson hearing voices and his thing that he does, and Tafua's mask, and so
Tafua. Let's just leave that at that, Courtney. We spoke about him way too much tonight.
And then the dozens of stuffed bananas that Lestat carries around, And then you have the Anchor and Ampo. So it's really hard to have your own identity within that group. So I applaud her for trying to do that. And even though she did not win, she was as close as she ever came. And I think she's tapping into what I've always wanted her to tap into. So if she continues down that path, we're going to have a new women's champion. Just know that.
You know what? Eventually, I mean, these things happen, but so far, she has not had the success she would hope for. I think that's the main thing I take away from it. Brittany Storm, yes, and I agree with you, though. The collective have quite the personalities. They, let alone their championships they hold, the personalities in that group, I think in all of wrestling, they are certainly the most interesting group.
Yeah.
The most, you know, they are collectively the most interesting group in all of, not just West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania. I mean, right now, I mean, with Ampo, Ampo is Ampo. You got the Banana Man, who was a world champion and elsewhere. You know, Dave Jamieson, new haircut, and find me, and he's got gold.
Four championships.
I know. He said he was going to.
He just won the MVP Tag Team Championships yesterday.
With Tyler Grayson.
My son has 4 titles.
You know, listen, he's going to need either a butler, maybe he'll need Jeffrey or somebody to carry those belts for him at this point. I mean, you know, who knows? I mean, but Peanut Butter and Jealous didn't win gold once again. Although, I mean, who knows there? But obviously, Dave Jamison's in his own entity, in his own world. And then we mentioned the Banana Man, who's got the MVP championship, and then Mr. Tafua. I mean, let's not bring that up again. And you got Ampo. So Brittany's
about Ampo. I have a beef with Ampo.
No. Ampo. What's wrong with Ampo?
I was interviewing Brittany Storm. I was doing my job.
I did see that.
Yeah. I was the unbiased journalist that I am. I was getting to the point, and Ampo stormed onto my set and literally picked up Brittany to remove her from her interview, and I did not appreciate that. So that's probably why she lost, because that's what was on her mind.
Did you ask Ampo why? I
don't speak Japanese.
He comes on here and doesn't speak Japanese on Sportswire. Does he all of a sudden find a way to translate himself? He's been on Sportswire several times by now. He's never spoke Japanese. I mean, he speaks.
It was uncalled for in any language. It was not called for.
I'm not going to sit here and question Ampo, considering the size of Ampo, on why he does it. He did famously say if he wasn't in the ring, he'd probably be in jail. He did say that on Sportswire last appearance. So I'm not going to be asking Ampo as to why he didn't help you do your job. I'm just going to say, Ampo, whatever you want.
Let me do my job?
He wouldn't let you do your job. Yeah, he wouldn't let you do it.
Okay.
I was saying I'm not going to ask Ampo as to why what happened, because Ampo did say once again if he wasn't in the ring, he would be in jail. I mean, so he did remind. He said some of us, if we're not in the ring, would be in jail. Now we know he doesn't mean it that way, but his point is how dangerous of a man he is. What he means, he is, you know. He's from the Kaiju squared circle. He's the Kaiju with the squared circle. So we know what Ampo is trying to point out. So I'm not going to ask Mr. Ampo. His last name's the Destroyer. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say, well, why did you forcibly attempt to remove Brittany Storm during the pre-show? Because then Ampo may want to forcibly remove us from Sportswire. We want to see Mark Varner on Sportswire later this week. So we want to make sure we get him on. We don't want to, we don't want Grand Funk Railroad to all of a sudden change the tune. I mean, unless you want to interview Mark Varner. I mean, I'm sure he'd love to talk to you. You're a pretty young lady, good, well-spoken, always right. He'd probably rather deal with you than having me again. So I'm sure Mark Varner would be a happy man about that. But I mean, just saying.
Before I answer that, I just want to point out one thing.
Yes.
I'm so proud of Brittany. She stood right up and slapped him right across the face. She did not put up with that. But
it's 2026. I understand where you're coming from.
I heard you speaking to Mr. Maverick about potentially interviewing my favorite band a member of my favorite band.
Yes, Mr. Starr. Yes, Michael Starr, Steel Panther. Yes, that we did talk about
Yeah.
that. Steel Panther. Yes, we talked about that.
Yeah.
He has a new song out actually with a man that came on, which everybody's by now has watched, Mr. Gus G. We have a clip on Instagram that hit like 6,700 views, and then the YouTube one hit almost 500 views already. So yeah, we've certainly talked about that. That the possibility is it's in the streets that potentially Mr. Starr maybe on his way to, where the stars may align with him coming here. So that is obviously, a possibility.
That would be the coolest thing ever.
Well, this it's out there. All I can tell you is it's out there. We're certainly, I can't tell you.
Manifesting it.
You're the one that has the degrees. I mean, I did okay in school, but not as good as you. I mean, not as good as you, but I mean, yes, it's out there that the possibility has existed that Mr. Starr may be bringing his star to this platform where the stars could align. I mean, obviously, see, I did that, but obviously, though, Phoebe and Godric, there is no stars aligning. The stars aligned for the Welcome to the Wasteland, but yeah, Mr. Starr, he may be using his star to align to. I mean, come on here, potentially. Yes, that's out there.
Well, if that happens and you do not relay a message to him to how much I love Steel Panther,
I'm gonna mention you. I would love for you to do the interview instead of me.
It does not have to be on the air, but
I'll
like,
do it. No. I'll do it on the air. I mean, listen, we'd love to. I would love for you to do it instead of me. I mean, maybe that Mr. Starr will agree. He would want to see you rather than me. They don't want to see me anymore at this point. They don't want to do with me.
Every time I've been on here, we've seen Lexi Fox in the background. I have roughly 80 Steel Panther shirts. I've seen them live, oh my gosh, 15-ish times.
Oh, okay.
Like, I am a huge fan. I would not be able to walk as well as I can if it was not for Steel Panther. And that is very true.
No, I promise you that if we get him on very soon, Mr. Starr, that I will make sure I mention you at least a few times in the interview. I promise you, because we know the importance of the band. I mean, I've seen the poster, your many appearances on here, and, I will do my best. And I can tell you, I'm trying my best to get him on, really for you. I had one wrestler, you want to laugh, wanted me to bring on Oasis. I'm like, oh, now we're really shooting for the stars. And we're really, like Oasis is going to come on here. Like, one guy tell me Oasis, then Metallica. Yeah. Okay. All right, buddy. I mean, let's slow down here. But we have a shot with Steel Panther because Gus actually likes me. So he likes me. So we speak a little bit off the air, so there's a shot. So I don't want to, spoil it. But
hey, you're putting it out there in the world. You're making stuff happen. It's never gonna happen if you don't believe in yourself.
But Oasis is a little too far down the road right now. Oasis is they don't even do interviews yet. Well, but they do, but they don't even speak in interviews. The Gallagher brothers, they don't do interviews anywhere. That's a little, I know that's
Listen, I failed math 5 times before I was able to pass it. That is for real.
You everything's right with you. You're always right. No.
It took me a while, and I was able to pass it, and I made it.
All right. Well, look, we'll find out. I mean, look, there's a couple other things that, look, I tell you what, if we get him confirmed in a day, I'll DM you first, and you can give me a whole bunch of Steel Panther bullet points. And now I'm serious. If I get him on,
I will be offended if you don't.
No, I will tell you first, and I will ask of you a whole bunch of, give me all the Steel Panther bullet points that you are attached to the band for. I know the band's history, but I want to hear your bullet. I want to hear how many times you went to the concert and how many collectibles, and I'll let him know that specifically. So I promise you, I'll do that. But I have Mark Farner first. So Mark Farner, I got him. Well, yeah, I know he's old. I was telling one of my friends that I went to eat before we signed off, and he was like, "Yeah, oh yeah, the old fart." It's like, well, look, he's coming back. And hello to Mr. Yoshi Matsuda. Was good, everybody. We're about to sign off, and we had on Godric Sandwell, who was responsible for Phoebe Harper's hospital bed visit and stay, and she's out of action until further notice, at the very least until February 7th. Afterwards, I have no idea. And we recapped the WVWF's latest show, New Heat, which took place, and we crowned our first ever King of the Mountain champion, which was the frat boy Cody Maverick, who was here about 21 or so hours prior to that. And we saw Cease and Desist retain the tag team championships. We saw Dax Preacher win his open challenge against Dean Mosley, then turned around and is now got a Mountain State Championship match next show against Nate Steele. And we also saw Riku St. Helen retain her women's championship against Brittany Storm, although Brittany Storm is getting closer and closer, I guess, maybe to other things. We saw Wildcat return to the ring, and he certainly put up quite a fight. And I want to see Bear Claw and Wildcat again. And we're going to get that on the 7th. Yes.
You could hear Wyatt Black throwing chairs in the locker room. It was so funny. I retired him. Why is he out there?
Well, you know what? Everybody says they're retired in music and wrestling. I mean, Motley Crue famously a decade ago signed a contract to never perform again, and here they are in like the 7th tour in 4 years. I mean, you just retirements are what they are. Who knows at this point? I mean, Steven Tyler said he couldn't perform again, and he just did an album with Youngblood. So you just don't know anymore. So. And with AI, nobody will ever retire, But I don't want to go into that discussion because in the music business, it's a really bad topic. But never a bad topic with you. I want to pass the baton to you. I want to give you some closing thoughts and a very memorable episode once again. And a lot of people tuned in for you. So take it away. And I'll plug your Instagram and YouTube channels.
Please pay attention to the Pro Wrestling Wire website. All of my writings go on there. The WBWF social media pages have my writings, and they always like to put up matches and everything else. So that's always exciting to see. If you're ever interested in anything that I do, it'll be on one of those platforms. The YouTube is just me recording matches at shows that I go to and helping the guys, have footage. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I
got. No, listen, I was putting them up as you mentioned. So yes, please hit the sub button for Courtney on her YouTube channel. She's moving up the ranks, and you can definitely check out those matches. Are very important, and it actually allows us to talk about these things. So actually they're really important that we get these matches out there. So please go out there and check out some of that content. And also, if you're on Instagram, Courtney does have an Instagram page, and I do have to put something up because there's something there related to the band we were talking about. That is none other than Steel Panther. And I actually will have to put up your Instagram handle, but also remind people of this. There you go. So that's one picture with the band. I did like the post. I liked it. I did like it. And I'll certainly let Mr. Starr know about that. And thank you, Jade, for tuning in. So happy to see Courtney. And well, you missed an interesting episode. That's for sure. And you'll laugh. Watch me get the band Steel Heart instead of Steel Panther first. Yeah, that'll watch that happen. Yeah, I'll get Steel Heart, which was a one-hit wonder. You just watch. That's what you just watch. That'll happen. But hey, look, I'll take Steel Heart, but I want Steel Panther first because Courtney will definitely be happy about that, and I would be happy to have them on too. They're a wonderful band, and they have a great history. And Courtney has a great YouTube channel, and check it out. And thank you, Courtney. I appreciate you. You may be a topic tomorrow with Dean Mosley. I look forward to that. And I'm sure we'll pick up where we always leave off, where you say you're always right.
I've yet to be wrong.
Well, time will tell. Time will tell. We'll find out if we're here tomorrow.
It's a heavy burden, Mr. Rice. It really is.
Oh, well, I mean, listen, Godric Samuel's got the heaviest burden right now to carry. Just saying.
That's his own fault.
You know what? Listen, he explained himself, and go back and watch the footage. I'll post a clip later. But that's Courtney Wood. She is more than the female Dave Meltzer. She's always right. She has like 12 degrees, and she knows more about Steel Panther than everybody else. You can check her out on Instagram. You can check her out via the Pro Wrestling Wire website, which I want to one more time give a shout out to Rick Del Santo on. Rick definitely does a lot in the wrestling community's own right in the great state of Connecticut, which I'm always fond of for many reasons. And hit the sub button for Courtney on YouTube, and we'll definitely have her back on here in the coming weeks. And yeah, a lot to talk about. I'm sure we'll resume the conversation about you and other things tomorrow night. And thank you as always. And obviously my condolences in not having a Phoebe Harper fan club meeting tomorrow, but we got sort of to the bottom of some things with Godric Sandwell. But we'll let you now put a candlelight vigil together for the rest of the evening, and we'll definitely talk about it soon.
Thank you.
Yes. That was Courtney Wood, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally with all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters. Want to thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for your support. I also want to thank the band Eternum that was on here beforehand. They just played with Powerman 5000 and the band Hinder, and they were on with us beforehand. And we'll look forward to a few other bands like a guy named Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad. But we are definitely not an American podcast, or we're worldwide. So until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.